Start recording. All right, guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna straight up jump into it. We're gonna be doing some awesome like key point tips for all the things that we do. We have Brittany and we have Jocelyn on here. So Brittany was just announced a top 10 Ruby builder, essentially, which means in all of 2020, she has helped the most amount of personally enrolled people in the entire company go Ruby, you guys. That is huge. And what got me really excited was, number one, that shows her coaching. But the second thing that is even bigger and better is that all the other like 9 names, you guys, they were all ambassadors, and she's a triple. And that tells me that like clearly she's on her way to ambassador. Clearly she's doing it right. And so I told her, I was like, you got to bring the freaking heat and the freaking tips. And then Jocelyn has signed 70 distributors this month from TikTok. She don't even have to message. I'm like, they're all just coming to her. Cause this is what I asked her. I said, okay, but doesn't that take a lot of time to do like multiple TikToks in a day? She's like, yes, but that's all I have to do. She's like, all I have to do is do TikToks. They're all in my inbox. And then I teach those people that I'm signing up to get their customers. She's like, that's all I have to do. So it's definitely worth my time. I was like, okay, you're right. It's definitely worth my time. So I just thought that was cool because I know that the one thing that slows people down in the beginning is not having a network, right? People don't sign a lot in the beginning because they don't have a network. TikTok doesn't care about your network. You can have one random video blow up. Everybody sees it. Before and after that, you have, business ones, and then it literally just blows up. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just start with Jocelyn, just because I just ended with that. I'll just unmute you. So kind of share your story just real quick, and then you can just go crazy with all of the awesome tips. And I know one of my leaders, she asked, okay, how are you training these people too? You don't have to like go with how you're training, but 70 is a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. So can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can. It's a little quiet.
Okay. I'll try to talk loud. It's some issue with my computer. I need a new one. But so I found this business 7.5 years ago at a bridal expo. I was 19 years old and I wasn't looking for a business at all. I ended up trying the body applicator, having awesome results, and I started referring everybody to the lady I bought mine from because it made me skinnier and they all wanted to be skinny. And so after I probably made her about $300, she's like, hey, why don't you sign up to make money off of your family and friends instead of making me all this money? And I said, sure, why not? So I got started just in my first month and a half from doing parties, talking to people on Facebook, and signing up just customers and retail cash. I made about $800, and then I did nothing for months. And so it wasn't until I finally decided to take it seriously and set a goal to pay for my college tuition during the fall semester and learned how to use social media that's when things started to take off for me. It took me 9 months to go executive, 11 months to go Ruby, a year to diamond, 15 or 16 months to double, 23 months to triple, 2 years presidential. So I went from triple to pres in 1 month. And then another year after that to ambassador, and we hit the Millionaires Club in 4.5 years. And so it's been really cool because like I started when I was single, when I was 19, I had to work the business through working full-time, through going to school full-time. I had to work the business through getting engaged, planning a wedding, getting married, being a newlywed. I worked this business traveling a ton, and now I work this business as a mom of 2 kids. So it's been really fun to kind of grow up in the company. And I literally was so shy when I got started and never thought that somebody like me could be good at this. And so if that's you and you kind of look at some of these stories and you're like, I have no idea if I can do that, you totally can. You just have to put one foot in front of the other and take quitting off the table. So
that's what let me stop you for just a second. That's what I love about your story, because I know you doing TikTok, you guys, she is like total introvert. Like people will at events, they'll be like, oh my gosh, why is she so mean? But it's just like, literally, it's because she's like totally introverted. She's like hiding, and you wouldn't think that. And she's been so extremely successful on TikTok. Like that is the best part about this because you're behind a camera. And so I just thought, I was like, you of all people, if you can do it on TikTok, anybody can, you know? So anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing with TikTok too, is like you don't have to do anything that's like super crazy outside of your comfort zone. Like when I first started, you know, you hear some of the like girls that started TikTok like a year and a half ago that have millions of followers now that dance, and I'm like, I am the most white girl and I can't dance at all. Like there's no way. And then there's other people that are super funny, you know, like Ashley Sinclair is funny on her own. And I'm like, I can't do that either. And so being able to just literally take other people's ideas of videos and then just lip sync to them and use the wording, you know, just mouth the words. The fact that we can do that, or even just like pointing and then put text there, like how simple. And so it's just been really cool because you don't have to go crazy outside of your comfort zone, but you can still get really good results. So I started TikTok the middle of January before a conference, and I can't remember where I'm at. I think I have 338,000 followers now, somewhere in there. So I've had a ton of growth, and so I kind of have this little like niche of how to grow on TikTok. And the really cool thing is that as you're growing, then all of a sudden you just put a business post up or you put a post about the products and you just get tons of leads. Like there's been times, as an example, where I posted saying, hey, I'm looking for hair models, and I had 200 people text me the word hair. What would you be able to do if you all of a sudden had 200 new potential customers? You know what I mean? And so, but it's cool because anyone can do this. Like it's so duplicatable. Like anyone can copy the video ideas that I've done, and it's just fun. So a couple of different ways that you can kind of grow, and I just shared one in your team page today, posting a video that just kind of says, if I'm on your For You page, we probably have these things in common, and then just name a couple of things. You always want to start with the most broad or generic thing and then kind of narrow it down. So as an example, you could say, in your 30s, a mom of two, loves Taco Bell, but spends too much time in the bathroom afterwards, or something that's kind of funny that people would kind of laugh at. And then you're going to get people that are like, oh my gosh, that's totally me. And then all of the people that are liking, commenting, and following you all of a sudden are people just like you. So not only can you grow on TikTok, you can specify what kind of people that you want to follow you in that way. So I'm always sharing content like that, or sometimes you'll hear like a cool, catchy little song. So like one of the ones that I had that went viral and it got me like probably close to 100,000 followers was a Baby Shark video where they said, if you're a mom, follow me, let's be friends. Something like, I don't remember exactly, but like just the simplest things. And so then I had all of these moms following me from it. And then the next thing I did is I posted about the business, and sure enough, all of these potential distributors started coming my way. So finding videos like that, where you can find people that you're going to have things in common with you. Another one is simple, like following whatever's trending. So set a timer when you do this so you don't get sucked into the TikTok black hole, but spend, like 10 to 15 minutes and just scroll through the For You page with the thought in mind, what could I replicate and do myself? And so, I'll go through and I'll listen to some. And so as an example, one of the ones I found today was this mom that looked like a hot mess. And she's like, does any other mom look like this? And then she turned it around to her daughter that was super cute, dressed up really nice. And then your kid looks like this, while you look like this. And then she pointed back at herself, and then she's like, let's be friends. Just finding little things like that you can copy, do yourself, or even take their sound and copy it that way too. So that's typically what I like to do, is just scroll through for 15 minutes. And then I usually try to find 1 to 4 different things that I can post every single day. I told Christy earlier, I post 1 video on a lazy day and I post 4 when I'm awesome. So I don't know what it is about having 4, but the more videos that you're posting, the more chances you have to have something go viral. And a lot of the times, if you're not in the mood to make something new, I promise you probably have a video saved on your phone that would go viral. So as an example, one of the girls, I think her name was Brianna, and It Works, that she posted a video of her wedding where her and her husband were dancing, and it got over 1 million views. And so it wasn't even about the business or the products that went viral, but that one did, and that brought people to her page, and she still got a ton of potentials from it. Some of the ones that I've had go viral is an old video when Taylin was just about 1 year old, giving her stink eye look where she glares at you. Another one that I had go viral was literally Taylor and I record little videos of scaring her in the house. That one went viral, like 4 to 5 million views. And so when I saw that that one was starting to go viral, I posted a few hours later about the business. And just because of the like 5 million people that went to my page from that scaring video of Taylin, that business TikTok has about 1 million views, and that was how I was getting so many potentials all month long to sign the 70. So it's just really cool because you never know what it's going to be that goes viral, but the ones that have gone the most viral for me were the least thought out ones. It was like, okay, what old videos do I have on my phone that I could just put together and then post so that I can have a post done for the day? Like, it's just been crazy because those are literally the ones that have. Another one that you can do, I'm going to say this, take it with a grain of salt. If you are thick-skinned and you can handle having people that don't have the same opinion as you, or dealing with like just ugly people, post something that's controversial. So as an example, I just did one the other day with a funny sound where I said something along the lines of like, when your husband says, I'm horny, and then the audio says, well, what do you want me to do about that? And so then I had all these people commenting like, oh, that's so terrible. I mean, it was a joke, but just because of that, I think that video has like 300,000 views, and those people are all coming to my page, you know, and just so if you're willing to like be a little bit controversial on there or share something where, you know, people are very opinionated about, that you know is going to go viral because people love to share their opinions. So that can also bring stuff to your page. So it's fun. You just make 1 to 4 videos a day. And then typically what I do, especially when it comes like getting leads, is, you know, like if you can get at least 10 good potentials every single day, then you should be able to consistently sign up a couple people every week, right? So that's always my goal. If you can get 10 potentials a day from TikTok, then you don't necessarily need to post about the business that day. But then once that starts to slow down and you're not getting any potentials from that and from the Instagram Reels, then that's when you want to post again. And I kind of do the same thing with the products. And I got this idea from Brianna Hampton. She's a presidential in the company. She has like a ton on there too, but she simply would just post pictures and be like, I'm a mom of 3. This is how I lost my tummy. And she'd literally show like the wraps, the defining gel, the cleanse, and the Thermophyte X. And people just go to your website and order. It's crazy. So I usually sign, you know, at least 6 customers a month just from doing that on TikTok, which is so cool. Like, they're just coming to you. So that's kind of what I do in a nutshell. Oh, as far as training new distributors, that was the other thing. So when it comes to getting so many new distributors started, the key to your success is going to be having a system. So, you know, I'm sure Christy trains you on this, but making sure you have them written down. One thing for me, like, because I still have hundreds of unread messages from all these potentials, I have to tell my newbies, like, hey, if you need me, you have to text me because my inbox is flooded on Instagram. Like, I can't message everybody back fast enough. And so I'm getting them on text, and then I keep it as simple as the training. Get your 2 customers, your 1 distributor. And then, you know, I'm coaching them like, let's get these customers. Here's a post idea. Here's a story idea. And every week I'm sending them an email that says, hey, I really want to help you get your customers. Here's an idea for a post that's going to help you with distributors. Here's a message idea. I want you to send this to at least 25 people. So I'm just giving them that extra step within an email that's just giving them a few different ideas. And every single time I reach out to them, whether it's like reaching out to all of them individually or whatever, I always reiterate that I don't know if they need help unless they reach out. And so making sure that they have that expectation up front that if they need help, they have to reach out has made the world of a difference. And so that shows me, you know, who's hungry and who's working and who wants it. Any other questions, Christy?
So you at the end of any business or product videos, you always say like DM TikTok to my Instagram, right? That's what you usually do? Okay.
Yeah, so I will say this because I did have one post about hair models go super viral, and I just said text the word hair to my phone number, but I didn't specify in the post that you needed to be like 18 or older, right? Because we want people to have jobs and credit cards and stuff. So I was getting like hundreds of 12-year-olds texting me. So make sure you specify must be 18 plus, and then say, message me the word TikTok on Instagram. Or if it's a potential customer, I'll say text the word mom to this phone number, or text hair to this number, or text tone to this number. And so that's kind of how I've been organizing it. As any potential customers, I have them text me, but if it's a potential distributor, I want them to follow me on Instagram, because most people don't sign up right on the spot, right? We know the statistics of how many times it takes to follow up with somebody before they sign. So my goal is to get them on Instagram and get them to follow me, because if they're following you on Instagram, they're going to see your stories, they're going to see your posts, they're going to get to know you a little bit better, they're going to start seeing the products. And so just by doing that, saying message me the word TikTok on Instagram, in the last month I've probably gained over 5,000 Instagram followers too. So you can imagine having 5,000 new eyes seeing your stories, how many new potential customers I've gotten from that too. So that's what I'm doing.
I have literally been doing this business for 7.5 years, and I have 14,000 followers. Like, to put that into perspective, you guys, like, we've already either are about to or just have already made $2 million in this business, and I only have 14,000 followers, and she just gained 5,000. And I say that because new eyes is new customers, is new distributors, inevitably. Like, that's huge. That is 5,000 new people, and that's just the people who started watching her and haven't even signed yet. And that is, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Okay, so I want to share something. So I did like 10 or 15 videos, because this is one thing that I think people need to remember. I did like 10 or 15 videos. They all just kind of like farted. They sucked. And then I had this like working out one that totally went viral. It had like 4 million views. And then everybody automatically, they will go to your page, you guys. So don't worry about like being super strategic about it. Just have the business, the personal, and the product ones mixed in, because then everybody went back to my other ones. But one thing that Jocelyn does that I think is freaking, is Emma moving out? No, our groceries just got delivered. One thing I think that's super important to understand is that when my one went viral, you guys, I wasn't targeting people the way that Jocelyn was. Jocelyn has her baby in her arms. She talks about being a mom a lot. She talks about being a wife a lot in a lot of her videos. So she's able to sign real people, okay? She's able to sign real people in her demographic, okay? And that's the one thing that she just said, like, to make that first video, if you're a mom, whatever, blah, 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 because, or if you're a guy, if you're 18 or older, because all the followers that I gained when that one went viral were all just like random old dudes from other countries. Like, I was like, I need to block all of these people. Like, I was like, I need to make my Instagram private. They were coming in the hundreds. And so I think that Jocelyn is very, very, very strategic in the fact that, like, it needs to be specified who you want to bring into your business. If you're a guy, if you're a girl, if you're a mom, if you're not a mom, if you are in college, if you're in this, if you're in that, okay? So that is why it is super, super, super important. So the chat is driving me nuts. I'm gonna just turn it off. Sorry, you guys lose your privileges. Host only. You guys can only message me. I can't handle this. Anyways, so Jocelyn's tips, I appreciate this so much too, because, and I will answer your question. Anyways, so let's recap, okay? 1 to 4 a day, okay? And I'll share this. Anyone else feel a little overwhelmed? You're like, I barely even make videos ever. I don't know if I have time for this, right? So this is what I talked to Jocelyn about earlier. I'm like, how in the butt do you do these videos every single day. Like, how do you have time for this when you're doing all of these other things? And she's like, well, because I'm doing these things and this is where all of my enrollments are coming from. So it's all I am having to do, essentially. And I'm like, for me, everyone's like, just have fun with it. Just throw videos up there. And so for me, that lack of discipline allowed me the last 6 months to just be like, one here, one there, whatever. But now I'm like, no, this is an income producing activity. I'm going to have fun with it, but I'm going to get, I'm going to make it a priority. It is now on my to-do list. It is not a fun, let's gain some followers, let's see if it works out. No, this is like, I'm going to make this work because she just signed 70 distributors in 1 month. So even if I get a percentage of that over the next couple months, like, that's freaking huge. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so one last thing that I wanted to share, and you're going to see this a lot, and you guys know Gary Vee talks about this all the time, jab, 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 right hook. You want to make sure that you're bringing value with the stuff that you're sharing too. So besides just doing like the lip syncs and the funny stuff, one thing that I always see that goes viral is when you share like a mom hack, or you share things you need off Amazon that you didn't know you needed, or the ones that I've done that have gone viral are things I have for my baby that just make sense, just like little baby items that I've bought that have been super useful. And then you just, at the end of those videos, you say, follow for part 2, follow for more, things like that, because then people that enjoyed that and they got value out of it, they follow you. But then once again, you can still do based on your target demographic. So I still do stuff based on being a mom. So all the people that are following me are new moms that need ideas for their baby registries. And then the other thing was, when you do that, you can do videos where you're telling a story and then you say follow for part 2. So there was one that I watched today that got me on the edge of my seat, and then it ended and I was like, gosh dang it, like I have to go follow the person so that I can get, see the rest of the story. And just as the idea, what it was a husband that was like, yeah, my wife's gonna go out for a girls brunch with some of her new friends. We just moved, so these are new friends, and she's super nervous about it. So I'm gonna go look on her Pinterest and find an outfit inspiration that she wants, and then I'm gonna go see if I can find that outfit in the mall. So he goes and he buys the outfit, and she's like about to get ready to go to leave, and she's like, I have no idea what to wear. He's like, oh, I actually picked something out for you. You want to see it? And so then it stops, and you're like, well, I wanted to see her reaction. So thinking of stories like that, or another one that I saw that went super viral, and I'm not even kidding you, this kid, he's a 17-year-old boy, but he was a genius. What he did was he went over to his friend's house. It was a super mess, and he said, my friend's mom is single. She always is working and just never has time to clean the house. So I'm going to clean the house for her and see what her reaction is. So then he cleans their house and shows the video of him like picking up dog poop, doing the dishes, vacuuming, whatever. And then he said, follow to see her reaction. And I'm not kidding you, he got 200,000 followers overnight. Like, so telling stories that leaves people on the edge of their seats, like that's another really good way. But then once again, you can still do it to where you're getting your target demographic. I've seen people share their birthing stories, whether they were traumatic or not, and then not tell the ending of the story. So then those people, you wait a day before you post the second part of the video, they start following you because they're invested in wanting to know what happened. So that's just another tip that you can kind of do.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. Like, you guys, and I know, okay, this is what I want to relate it to. I know in your head, you're probably thinking what I did when I first heard about that, and basically for the last 6 months. But I'm like, I'm not creative. I don't know what to do. I'm frozen. And then I get on TikTok and I'm on there for like 30 minutes and I'm like, I still don't know what to do. So this is what I have found that I need to do. I need to go to Jocelyn's page. I go to her videos and I copy one of them, but put a timer on for the For You page to find stuff that is going viral. Put a timer on, pick one, and then go and get it. But this is so much strategy. Like, how many of you guys have messaged 25 people a day? You're working on getting 20 hosts to post up. That stuff works, you guys. But this right now is working 100 times bigger and better. It's just like when we started Host to Post, 100 times bigger and better. So it would be silly. It would be silly for us not to do it. Your time is worth it here, 110%. And so for me, I was like, okay, I'm committed. It's actually at the top of my to-do list because my page is already like solid. Like I put up stories each day without even thinking. My Instagram, like you can go to it and you can scroll for a couple minutes and there's good business, product, personal. It's already there. So why not have the unlimited funnel and tons of people in my inbox? Like imagine if for the rest of the year, I don't know if you said this, Jocelyn, but basically her one video that went viral got everybody to look at the next one that was a business one. And that one has enough potential distributors to last her through the end of the year. Is that not worth our time? I looked at her stories once and she's like, I'm working on getting back to you guys. And it was 99 messages in her Instagram inbox. It's like silly to not take your time and put it here. Okay. And I don't expect to have 99 in the next couple weeks. Well, it's very possible, but I know like, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to sign. I've already decided I'm going to sign 40 distributors in September. And then if I sign 70 in October, that's great because she's been consistent with it longer than I have. Okay. And so, anyways, I just think this is so awesome. Is there anything else you want to share with TikTok?
Yeah, just like Host to Post, you guys, like, remember how Host to Post works, right? You know, sometimes you have posts that you do or have people post and they get nothing. Sometimes you're going to post a video and you're like, man, I thought that was the one. I thought it was going viral and it hardly gets any views. And that's okay because the key to success is consistency. If you keep going, getting 1 to 4 videos up every single day, I promise you, you will get stuff that goes viral. And that's really what the key is to TikTok. You don't have to add people. People start to follow you based on what you post.
Yes, I love that. And somebody asked, they're like, how does she keep up with it? I think this is what we prayed for, right? Like it's one of those things where we're like, I made a post, I sent messages for 30 days straight. Where's all the people, right? And then people on the other side are like, how do you manage it? Like this is what we prayed for, you guys. This is what we prayed for. So I'm not shunning away anybody. You know, the right people will message you again and again. Hey, did you get my message? You get my message? But anyways, that is like the most amazing tips ever. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's go over to Brittany. Thank you, Jocelyn. If you have anything else that you want to share, just let me know. And then I'll just unmute you. Okay. Let me find Brittany. Sorry. You guys, my thing is if there's a will, there's a way. If you want an excuse, you'll find it. If you want a reason, you'll find it. If you want the time, you'll find it. We all have the same 24 hours in the day, period, end of story. People have worse stuff going on than you. People have better stuff going on than you. It just is what it is. You know, when people, I'm like, you've never seen a successful person that uses an excuse that they have. They just don't. If there's a will, there's a way. Period. End of story. You don't have time, you'll make time if it's important to you, right? You just will. You'll give up an hour of sleep if you have to. You will go find something exciting. You'll go copy what somebody else does. You'll go buy a ring light and find a pretty place in your house and you'll freaking do the videos. Like, you know, it doesn't matter. It just is what it is. If you want the success, you'll find it. That's why, you know, even when I stress about I want the perfect system for training people and this and that, and whatever. And then I'm like, the right people will figure it out. The person who signed me up, she quit within a couple months after I joined, but I eventually figured it out slowly, but eventually. Like if you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out. And it's a blessing that we have so many amazing, amazing people here to help you figure it out a little bit sooner. Brittany, I don't know where your face went. Also, I'm talking, so I'm just like scrolling through pages and I'm like not actually paying attention. Oh, there's your beautiful face. Hello. Hey, girl.
Hello.
Okay, so, you guys, like I said, Brittany is a triple diamond, and she literally was in the top 10 Ruby builders for all of 2020 in the entire company. That is like super, super, super legit. So, yeah, I know. I told her, I was like, you better bring the fire. She's like, no pressure. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your story, because I think it's so powerful, essentially, like how quick you went because of the changes that you made.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go over like what happened in the past 7 months, but it's been so crazy. I literally started this year being paid as executive, which like it's not even a thing
We don't
anymore.
even talk about it. It's like before Ruby.
Yeah, it's like not a thing anymore, and I wasn't maintaining my anything. I was just executive, and I was working my butt off, guys, and then I brought my mindset to the table, and that's literally the thing that changed everything. And from January to March, I went double. And then in April, I took my husband's account double. And then in June, I went triple. And like literally 6 months, it was insane. And then I was making more money than I'd ever seen in my entire life, like ever. And I was a top 200 earner, which is insane to me still, because I'm like, how did that happen? So yeah, that's my story.
Oh, you're so funny. Okay. So, my thing is I want to hear of the changes that you made, because I know that you did lots of personal development, lots of changes on deciding like what you want. You basically just decided that things were going to be different. So what did you do to start getting that momentum, I guess you could say?
So I would say the biggest thing I did is I focused more on my team than myself, because for so long it was like about me and like my family, my paychecks, my money, my promotion. And then like when I flipped my mindset to like helping other people make money, like the game just completely changed for me. And I wasn't ever like, I don't want to help people make money, but it was always like, I'm struggling, I need to pay my bills. But when I just decided like, okay, these people are coming into the business and they're trusting me to help them, and I just was envisioning that with them and not just with me, like my whole team exploded and like everybody was winning. And at one point, like when I took my husband's account double diamond, I literally didn't even know he was going to go double diamond that month, because I was so focused on my girls going diamond. And so 2 of my girls went diamond that month, and I literally had no clue that my husband was going to go double, because I didn't have that chart out. I was just focused on my team's promotions. And that came with my mindset. Like Christy said, I literally had the worst mindset before January. Like I wasn't a negative Nancy, but I was like feeling like I was a one-hit wonder. Like, am I ever going to get there? Like I'm doing all the things. But the thing I wasn't doing was personal development. And when I was doing it, like, was I really listening, or was I just doing it because it was on the task list, basically? So when I really started pouring into myself and like giving myself that undivided time and like journaling what I was thinking and what I wanted and like what I was actually going to do to get there, not just like, I want to be a triple diamond, but like, am I really doing all of the things, you know? So I changed my mindset, focused on my team, and everything just went up from there.
I love it. It's so simple. You're like, I just changed my mindset and focus on my team. And I think it's so powerful, because like that is what you do. So share with me like what you do for journaling. Because I know I have been asked so many times. People are like, I want to journal. People talk about journaling, but like, how do I start? What do I say? Am I talking to myself? Am I talking to God? Am I talking to this? Am I like, who am I talking to? What am I saying? You know, can you share like how you started that and what you do?
Yes. So it was very awkward for me at first, because I'd never done it before. Like personal development wasn't even a thing in my vocabulary before this business. And I think just literally writing down what you're thinking at that time. So like right now in the mornings when I get up, before I do power hour, I just write down like, how am I feeling right now? Like, what am I going to work on today? Like, I just affirm things that maybe aren't happening yet, but I want them to happen. I do talk to God on paper. Like, I feel like that's the person I'm having a conversation with. Like, I'm talking to myself, but really I'm talking to God. And I got this book from Stacy at conference. I don't even know what it's called. Let me see if I can find it. No, I don't know where it is right now. But it's like a personal development, like growth book. Oh, my chair is sinking. Sorry guys, I need a new one.
Where's she going?
My office chair is the worst. Don't judge me. Anyway, so it's a personal development journal. So literally it gives you things to talk about, like it asks questions and then like asks you how are you gonna do differently to like fix whatever you're having an issue with. And that's really where I got started because I didn't really journal before that. So when I got that book and it kind of tells you what to do. So I think everybody needs to get like a journaling guide book.
That is awesome. I'm sure there's going to be 1,000 people asking what it is, so you're going to have to post it after this. Okay, so let's talk about the business building stuff, because clearly you're building rubies, and that's what we want to do, you guys. That's how we make the most money, period, end of story. I mean, if you literally look at it, like the top 10 people were probably about the top 20 income earners. Most of them were, except for Brittany, which is so legit. Can you share like what you actually do specifically that you think is making you stand out from other people in your business growing?
So obviously I do the 6 list, guys, but I feel like the biggest thing I do is I create feeling because I used to just copy paste whatever everybody else was posting. And like when I started taking the posts and like making them my own and like creating feeling into like what my life is, like what I'm doing, how it's changing my life, it totally just changed everything for me. Obviously I message, but like the biggest thing I can say is like money doesn't sell, feelings sell. So if you're making somebody feel something through your posts, through your videos, through your TikToks, like if they watch what you're putting out there and they feel something, they're going to be more likely to join you and want to even talk to you in the first place. If you're just copy pasting a script to them and like everything you say is just so scripted, they're not going to feel anything at all. Like they're just going to be like, oh my gosh, it's another network marketing girl in my inbox, you know? So create feeling, messaging. Like for me, I know Chrissy says all the time, voice message, and that's what I do. I do the initial like message typed out, and then I voice message and I connect with the person, like relate to them, go to their page. Interacting is like one of my biggest tips. Like if you're not interacting and like not just going to your timeline and commenting on 10 posts and replying to 10 stories, like don't just check it off your list, like actually interact with people, go to their page, find out who they are, figure out what's going on in their life, and then message them. Don't just message them, like figure out who they are so you can relate with them and connect with them, and then voice message them because they're gonna feel how you're feeling when you message them. And if you're just feeling like you're just sending out 20 messages in a row and you don't know who these people are, they're gonna like know, like I don't know how, but they're gonna know and they're not gonna respond. So that's my biggest tip is just interacting and creating feeling in your content.
I love that so much. And I think that is like the one thing that, I mean, that's what I asked you, but makes you stand out from other people, you guys, because if you see 3 people, you went to high school with all 3 of them, you know all 3 of them, who are you going to join? You're going to join the person that is the most excited, the most genuine, that actually gives a crap about your post, that doesn't just message you before you even, interact. Like I truly believe that, my leaders and my enrollments, they come from people feeling like we actually know each other, because we kind of actually do. I mean, even before I meet some of these people, I'm like, I feel like we've met because we are so interactive with each other. And sometimes that requires patience, but it's kind of when you get that ball rolling, I feel like, I don't know if it's kind of the same for you, Brittany, like in the beginning, you're like, okay, I'm being patient. I want now. Okay, I'm being patient. But then once you have all of these relationships going and going, all of a sudden it's like a snowball effect. All of a sudden you have tons and tons of potentials that are ready to be signed up over and over and over because you've consistently been building relationships. And those are the people that go diamond in less than 90 days. Those are the people who go double and triple and presidential and ambassador because you actually have a relationship with them. And when it's hard, they want to talk to you. So this is kind of where it comes in, is like your patience is like the long game, like your patients, you know, TikTok is like the short game. Like you can get them right now, right? But even after you sign them up from TikTok, you want to build that relationship so that they trust you when they're feeling hard, when it's feeling hard, whatever, because they probably know nothing about your business. So these actually go like perfectly well together, because you don't want to sign 100 to have none of them stay. But if you take what Jocelyn said and what Brittany said, and then you combine them, you're like the ultimate power. Like that's what I'm going for. I'm like, okay, I have the relationship down. Now I just need the massive enrollment. And so I just think that's so awesome. Okay, so if you, let's just say you were like, even in January, okay, in January, you weren't making, I am, let's just say in January, okay, you weren't making a lot of money. So what do you talk about, right? Everybody says that. How did you like create that vision for your posts and for when you talk to people? And when you talk to people, because this is one thing I think people almost feel like fake, right? You're like, you can change your life with this, but like your life hasn't changed yet. That doesn't mean that you're being fake, but how did you approach that in January when you weren't making a lot, but you were like, you knew what you wanted?
So it's the little things, honestly. Like, people can see you say that it's going to change your life and you're going to make $5,000 a month, and that's awesome, but they're not going to believe you, and they're also going to not relate with that because they don't foresee that happening. Like, they think it's just a scam and like whatever, you're never going to make $5,000 from social media. But if you talk about like the gas money you just, like the gas you just paid for, or the groceries you just bought, and like at that time in January, that was what was so important to me, because I wasn't working. I had quit my job, and we had our second baby, and my husband had come home from the oil field, and we were actually struggling. Like, the gas I was putting in my car with It Works money and the groceries I was buying, like that actually mattered to me. So those little things helped me connect with people who also needed gas and also needed groceries, because that's something that everybody, I feel like, who does need money, those are things that they can just relate with. Or like medical bills that you're paying, you're going to the doctors, you're paying for your kids' medical, pharmacy, like just all of the little things that could be $10, but like talk about it because people can relate with that.
I love that so much. And that's like so important for me to even remind myself of. I have to constantly be like, people can't relate with like, I made this much money. Like, people can't relate with like building a house. Like, it's great to watch on social media, but that's what it's great for. It's not a relatable, here, we're going to sign some more distributors type of thing. So what did you do? Because I know you talked about journaling. Like, I know that a lot of people, because I've had people ask me today, they're like, okay, what do I do for personal development? Like, where do I find it? What is it? What do you listen to, or what do you read?
So I always say this because it's my favorite podcast, but I listen to the Empower Her podcast a lot. And I like it because she's a network marketer herself, not with the same business, but with a different business. And so she doesn't ever talk about her like products or anything. She's just like so geared toward the mindset that we need. And she started her own company, and she's just like, so like, her energy is just like, I wake up and listen to her and I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go. Let's conquer the day. You're amazing. And then also I try to do like at least 15 minutes of an actual audiobook. I don't have time to read. I only do audiobooks. So like the books that Christy posts about, like right now I'm reading the It Takes What It Takes with my team. And we're just going to chapter 4 through 6 right now, but it's really good. And maybe if you do 15 to 30 minutes a day, it might not be a lot, but your mind is growing with everything you listen to, and you can just do it, you know, reading or audiobook, whatever. But like podcasts and self-development books are like, do both, because they're both super important in my opinion.
I love that. And so going based upon the fact that like you have been building Rubies, because essentially you guys, like right after you sign your first distributor, like that's your goal, to be helping people go Ruby. What do you think has helped you build so many Rubies? I mean, that's a pretty broad question, but is it you just follow in the system that we have? Is it a different system? Like, I will just let you share whatever you do, because clearly it's working.
So I do basically everything you do. I use your videos and all of that. But I think one thing that I do that is like super, super different than what I did when I wasn't as successful is I connect with that person on a personal level. So like, I want to know why they joined, not just like when we have that initial conversation with them, they tell us why they're looking to make money, but sometimes it's not the whole story. And also, I feel like we talk to so many people a day that we don't really remember why they joined. So we need to find out why they joined, and we need to find out why it's important for them to make money, so that then we can chase that dream with them. And so when they pull out that Ruby chart and they're like, I'm going to make $500 a month, you're like, yes, you're going to make $500 a month for this. Like, you know, and you're like their friend, not just like, oh, they're a distributor, I'm going to fast start them and I'm going to make $150. Like, that was me when I first joined. And it wasn't that I didn't care about those people, but I didn't have that connection with them. And I also wasn't so focused on their why. So when you find out their why and you connect with them and you just like run with them, like not just run with yourself to your promotion, run towards their promotions, and then yours will follow is like the biggest thing for me. And also getting them to do whatever I'm doing. So at first it was like I was just having them watch the videos and, you know, get on Monday night training, and that was really all I did. I didn't know how to, I guess, be a leader. But then I decided like whatever I'm doing is working, so I'm going to just teach them to do what I do. So I don't care if they're brand new, I'm going to invite them to my power hour in the morning and do my tasks with me. And it might be an hour and a half and they might feel like so confused, but they're going to learn from it and they're just going to run with those tasks. And then teaching them whatever I'm doing isn't just like, hey, watch the videos. You know, I feel like we're just kind of dropping people off and like leaving them there in a tagged video, you know? So I like to do that personal connection, and I do something called like a newbie power 30. And I think I've talked about that before on here, but it's super awesome. I literally cover host to post because that's where everybody gets customers from. So I wasn't teaching host to post to my newbies at first. And now that I have started doing that here January through July, through August now, it's like crazy. They're getting 3 to 6 of their own customers probably within the first 2 weeks. Sometimes in the first day they've gotten 3, and it's just like this huge win for them, because reaching out to friends and family, sometimes they're just like, everybody said no and I want to quit because my family hates me and they don't want to buy my products. And like, I feel that because my family didn't want to buy my products, and it was kind of discouraging, but I have a little bit thicker skin, so I was like, whatever, family, like I'm gonna keep going. But a lot of people don't, and they're like, my mom said this is a scam and I'm quitting. So I don't even have them reach out to their friends and family. Like at first I say, let's do host to post, let's do TFX. Like I have them do a TFX tap and put up a giveaway post if we have one going on. That's all I teach them, and then they run with it, and it's awesome. And then just have them start getting on power hours after that, and that's literally all I do.
I love it. It's so simple, you guys. Like, the biggest thing is that, like, if you do the things, you will get the results. Like, that's literally what it comes down to. Do the things, you'll get the results. And so, you guys, what she's talking about at Power 30, I actually am going to be starting them every day at 8 p.m. Pacific time. This is something that I started doing last year, and it was awesome. I mean, that's how I found some of my leaders, essentially, because I think for me, I've noticed when we do power hours, people will do everything except for the messaging. They'll be like, well, I feel good, right? Like 5 out of 6 feels good, right? You're like, I pretty much did it. But the messaging and the reaching out is essentially the most important thing. So basically it's us doing 30 minutes of just focused messaging, and that's pretty much it. I will give you guys the message. We might do post to post, we might do reaching out, we might do we might even, I don't know, maybe we're even going to take 30 minutes to make a TikTok. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but it's going to be awesome. Whatever is working, right? Like that's what we want to do. We want to do whatever is working. So that's going to be it. Oh, jeez. What are you doing? Why are you crying? What happened?
Daddy, I can't.
Go check in my room. Okay, go. Gosh, she's trying to grab at me. Okay, hold on a second. Go over there and my gosh, she scared the crap out of me. But she's crying and sad looking for daddy. Let me call him. Okay, this is fun, guys. It's fine. No worries. Aaron's gonna get his face ripped off after this. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so he's upstairs. I hear him. Okay, anyways. Yeah, it scared me. I didn't like a little ghost in a little dress, a little sleeping dress. Anyways, sorry, this recording is gonna be super cool. So where was I? So we're gonna do that every single night because you know what, you guys, y'all can make a freaking post, okay? You can interact, okay, right? You can make a freaking TikTok. You can do all those things. But I know the one thing that most people are not doing is that secret sauce. It is the messaging. It might be messaging to follow up. It might be messaging new, whatever. So anyways, we're gonna do that every single night on this code at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And so it's going to be great. But regardless of that, you guys, I'm going to kind of go on some extra little fun tangents just simply because I see the chat. I'm going to have to turn the chat off next week before I cut heads off. But here's the deal, you guys. Your business is your responsibility. Okay. The person who signed me up, she quit like a couple months after me. I could have whined, I could have complained, I could have said, poor me, woe me, whatever. Y'all, if you're on here, you have a really good leader. Like every single one of you do. Because either you're on Jocelyn's team or Brittany's team or Stacy's team or Eliana's team. And all those people are on my team. So somebody's there for you, right? If you think, woe me, if you play the victim, you will never be successful in this business. That's just what it comes down to. We are the 1% for a reason. You have to act like the 1% if you want to be the 1%. Not everybody on here is going to go ambassador. I'm just being honest. There's 281 people. Not every single one of you guys is going to go ambassador because there's going to be a percentage of you guys that are going to quit because of other people's opinions. There's going to be a percentage of you guys that quit because it didn't happen fast enough because that's the society we live in. And there's going to be people that quit simply because they didn't do the personal development and they don't believe in themselves. That's just what it is, okay? Katrina, I don't know who's got your phone, but you know, you have to make sure that you are responsible for your business. If you say, I don't know what host a post is, go to the team page, go to the search bar and type in host a post. Go to YouTube and type in host a post. If you're like, I don't know how to do TikToks, I missed everything Jocelyn said, it went over my head. Okay, so go Google how to do TikToks. That is like, I can show you guys how to do something, right? Like, think of it this way. So you see your dad riding a bike. He's going to teach you how to ride a bike. You're watching him ride a bike. You will never learn until you get on the bike, and you're probably going to fall a few times, and then you're going to know how to ride the bike. You cannot watch and expect to learn. I have people, they're like, well, after this thing, that's when I'm going to start. Or once I know all the products, that's when I'm going to talk about them. I'm like, how are you ever going to learn about the products if you don't go find answers that people ask you for, right? Like, you're not a dictionary. You're not going to memorize all the products. And honestly, facts tell, stories sell. The same thing with the feelings. People honestly don't give a crap about all the facts. There's like 1% that do. It's mostly the fact that you are going to talk about how it makes you feel. And you have to be using those products. And I know some of Jocelyn's team is on here, but we are starting a 45-day product results push, and it's going to be hot. Yeah, go ahead, Brittany.
Okay, one thing, and it's like totally to spin off of what you said, but one of my key points that I wrote down is like, just do something, guys. Like, if you feel overwhelmed or stuck, like, don't wait for your leader to tell you to message or to tell you to put a story up. Just do something. Find the 6 list on Power Hour thread and pick one of the things and do it. Like, don't just sit around, just do it. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, there's a whole 15 list of things that I need to do and I feel like I don't know how and I don't know who to message and I don't know what to post. Like, just post something. If it's bad, who cares? You're going to get better. You're going to learn. And we all suck when we start, and that's just how it's going to be. And you're always going to suck if you never start. So just do something. That's like my biggest tip. Anyways, that's my TED Talk.
No, that is so important, you guys, because everything in life, oh my gosh, Erin and I were talking about this last night. It's so funny because this business is literally parenting. Like, it is literally parenting. If you guys are here and you're a parent, like, not every single one of you guys are, but you probably have seen someone, it is the exact same thing. It is life. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Because Erin, sometimes I'll be like not in the hottest mood and I'll be like, I'm going to go blah, blah, blah. He's like, babe, do you think that's going to work? do you think she's going to respond to that? I'm like, shut up. And it's the same thing because we were talking about him and his mom's here, like basically teaching us how to teach because she's a teacher. And basically Erin's like, oh yeah, I'm like, just get it done. Just do it. And I'm like, isn't that like the same thing? Like what you tell me not to do to like girls on my team? And like, it's the exact same thing, you guys. It's the same thing with, with your busy schedule. Okay. How many of you guys have made a to-do list and there's like 15 things on it? So by the end of the day, you do nothing. You're like, there's just too much to do. I'm overwhelmed. I don't want to do any of it. Okay. The only way that you're going to ever get through that list is just by starting. You might say, you know what? I'm going to pick the top 3 on that list to do now. And then I'm going to come back to it in a couple hours. Like, you just have to start doing the action. It's so freaking simple. And I think that's my whole thing, you guys, is that's really truly why I believe that every single person can get to ambassador. They won't, but every single person can, because all it takes is mindset and action combined. That's literally all it takes. I mean, I honestly, in the last couple months, have not signed everything that I wanted to sign. Okay. So I'm like, listen, I need a way. Like, I need a freaking way. Like, I'm going Black Diamond. And so when I have claimed that, you guys, I've claimed it for a long time, but I hadn't really like claimed it as in I was ready to do the work. Right. And I did like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, all right, anything and everything, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. If it comes my way, if I'm scared, I'm going to do it. If I'm overwhelmed by it, I'm going to figure it out. I'm just going to do it. Okay. And then it was like, Jocelyn's like, I signed so many distributors. And I'm like, okay. It's like, I feel like literally it's God being like, here you go. Like a little slap in the face. Like, here it is, like right here. And I'm like, I don't wanna. I have lots of Instagram followers I've never even messaged. And I'm like, people are literally flooding her gates. That is my road to Black Diamond. I've already made the decision. That's my road to Black Diamond. That's what's going to get me there. So if you guys know what you want, that is going to be something that's going to allow you to come get the results. And I'll share one last thing before we end, but I'm always like thinking like, what's the best system for you guys? What's the best this? What's going to be helping people get the most successful, whatever. And I literally said, no, it's Jocelyn Yates. Okay. Anyways, so I'm sorry, I cannot focus. So anyways, we're sitting on the couch and I'm like, babe, did I like ruin everything? I'm like, did I ruin everything by saying like 2 customers and 1 distributor and then 2 customers and 1 distributor, 2 customers, 1 distributor, and telling them not to just get all their 6 customers in the first place? And he's like, no, because you ask people what their goal is, and their goal is Ruby. And regardless of that Ruby chart, they need those 3 distributors. And so you guys, at the end of the day, your goal is the income attached with whatever chart. And that's what you print out. And that's what it is. Okay. But like, there has to be some feeling attached to that income. Where is it going to go? Is it just going to be in your bank? Is it going to go to debt? Whatever it is. And that's what's going to get you guys excited. But it's so funny that Brittany has been saying that, because I appreciate that so much, because people will say, how could you ever want more? How could you ever want more? Aren't you happy? Haven't you had enough? And I'm like, no, I haven't. It's not that I'm like itching for more money, right? Like, they say after $80,000 a year, money doesn't buy happiness. Okay. After that, it buys time. It buys you paying someone to clean your house. It buys things like that. The reason why I'm so hungry every single morning is simply because I'm like, what really gets me excited is when people say like, you changed my life. And that sounds really cliche, but there's no better feeling. It's like when you go to give back at the soup kitchen, you feel really good. You know, you helped them, but you feel even better. It's the exact same feeling. But until you get out of your way and just freaking push your excuses to the side, there's every single person in here that could use an excuse, that could say, I don't have a leader, I don't have a network, I don't have a beautiful house like Jocelyn, I don't even have an iPhone. If you don't have an iPhone, that's the one. I don't know, you're gonna have to figure that out. You have to get a really good filter. But there's just going to be things that we all can say. Alexis has 4 kids, her husband is away all of the time, and she still freaking does it, okay? And then there's people who have no kids and they won't even show up, and you're like, wait, what? You're just like, I don't know what's happening. Like, how did this happen? Like, why are you just using so many excuses? And that is why I don't pity anyone with excuses. I understand. They could be real things, you guys, but I won't pity you because it doesn't do you any good, right? Like, it doesn't, I'm not helping you by saying, you're right, go sit and cry in the corner. It doesn't help you. I might be the only one, or Eliana might be the only one, or Jocelyn might be the only one telling you, get up, right? Isn't that nice to have someone in your life that wants you to hold yourself to a higher standard or holds you to a higher standard? That's really good. Like, you might have grown up, or maybe even your friends or your family. My family didn't really support me. My mom did, but a few of my sisters didn't, right? Like, you could have everybody around you telling you to just sit down and shut up. That's really what they're telling you to do. Sit down, shut up, be happy with what you have. You don't need more. That's not good, blah, 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 blah. But isn't it good to have like a space where people are like, no, you're capable of more. No, you need to get up. No, you need to take control, right? No, like, you have more control than what you're acting like. You have more discipline. You have more work ethic. It's just like what Jocelyn said that I like will remember this forever. She's like, people act like, oh, I don't have discipline. That's not a trait that you get to label yourself with, because guess what? When you have a kid and that baby wakes up, you don't just ignore the baby and sit down. No, you get your butt up because you have to, because it is a priority. You are disciplined enough that even when you are exhausted, you will get up and you will feed your baby. You're not going to sit there and let your baby cry. It's the same thing. This business is my 5th child. It is. And I have no shame in saying that. Like, it just is. It's that, I'm not saying it's at the same priority list, but it is a priority with that. Okay. And so, you guys, this is sorry if you're looking for a best friend to sit next to you and tell you that it's okay. And, you know, don't worry, I'll give you a month off and I'll see you next month. I'm not going to be that person. I'm just not, because it doesn't do you any justice. So anyways, yeah, and I have 4 kids, and I'm just like, people are like, how? And I'm like, I don't know. We just kept having them, and then we just kept like figuring out where to work the business. Like, you just do that, you know? Like, I'm sure Jocelyn was like, started her business and no kids, and then she's like, oh, I have 1. Oh, okay, I have 2. And now she's doing more time to TikToks, you know? Like, you just freaking figure it out. Yeah, like Eliana, they had such an adjustment going from both of them working the business together. Imagine if you and your spouse worked it, and then you had a kid, and you're like, who's gonna watch the kid? That's literally what it is. It's like, who's gonna watch the baby? Like, the baby's crying, who's gonna get the baby? Like, I'm working. Like, you know, everyone's gonna have adjustments, you guys. And it's so funny because people here, you have no idea the kind of stuff that they've been through in their lives. Divorces, deaths, whatever it is. Like, and none of them will ever even like talk to you about it. They'll talk to me or to their, you know, upline or this or that, but like, it's because it's not going to change their work ethic. Like, because regardless of that happening, it's not going to change their goal. And so we are focused on where we're going, and we are going Black Diamond, which means a lot of you guys are going Diamond and above. And people that are not even on this team yet, they're going Diamond and above. And I know Jocelyn's working on that too. I'm like, I gotta go faster. She's signing 70 distributors a month. Like, hurry, you know? And I'm like, I love it, you guys. Like, because I'm gonna be really honest. So you guys have heard, and I'll end on this, sorry. You guys have heard, you know, me talk about Marwa, okay? She swooped in and she is like amazing. She signs 1 million distributors, right? And, you know, a big thing of it is that she grew in a network that was never touched. I don't know what the language is. Anyways, and so I will say I use that as an excuse. I'm like, oh, well, she this, right? She's got that. And then Jocelyn just signed 70 and I'm like, okay, I have no excuse. Like, time to level my shiz up. That's basically what it is. Like, if you ask for a way, the way will be given. And this is the way. This is the way. It's nice to see other people, including yourselves, do something for the first time, because then all of a sudden it's doable, right? Like, if there was no Black Diamond yet, I would be like, okay, I gotta focus real good on this vision, you know, but there's already been Black Diamonds. So I'm like, clearly it's possible. So anyways, I hope you guys all have a good, happy Monday night, and make sure that you have your chart out. And I know there's some people promoting tonight, and I'm so sorry for taking 7 extra minutes of your time, but we are starting the Power 30s tomorrow, and I will see you guys later.